Welcome back, world. We are here for the 2023 Dynamic Discs Open presented by Dynamic Discs. We are in Emporia, Kansas. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite event, and we are back kind of in the central of the country, bringing tons of players back onto the tour. I'm Connor O'Reilly, joined in the booth by your very own Holly Finley.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. It has been a super tight race here at the Country Club. Deann Carey and Kristin Tattar started the round only 2 behind the leader. Right now, after the front 9 have played, Holland Hanley looking to be in the lead. Kristin and Haley tied for second. Missy Gannon in fourth.
Kristin still has a legitimate chance that she can get hot on this back 9. Hole 10, as we've mentioned before, is a newly redesigned hole. Same tee box as a par 3 that finished down there to the right in that cluster of trees last year. This time you want to finish just left of there, finding yourself somewhere here. Ideally, short uphill approach with out of bounds on the left and a big trunk on the right side of the green. This is definitely a birdie that these players are going to want to give themselves at least a look at.
Tattar up first. And her shot looked like it was going to cut into that corner woods, but there's just so much space around there. It's very deceiving, and she's safe in the open fairway.
Yeah, there's probably that bare trunk you guys see in the sunshine there off the tee and the wood line on the left. That wood line probably ends at least 70 feet before that tree, so a nice open window there.
Deann Carey sends the perfect shot. If you can get past that V tree, get near that old pin, you are in prime birdie position.
Further left you work, unless you get way to the left edge. That row of trees on the second shot's really going to come into play unless you're willing to hang the forehand out over the stuff.
Catrina caught up in the woods, just barely here on the right side. She pitches out right to that wood line, and that could be a tricky par save depending on what kind of gap she has.
She might even have to go to a forehand as close as she is to both of those tree trunks.
In this left side, I've never been over here, but you have to throw over that out of bounds area, which isn't that big of a deal. You know, that's only a 250-foot shot, I guess, 275.
Yeah, probably about 280 from where Kristin was, but if you are up to that tree line, it's right there at 250. Back to the standstill turnaround for Jen. Great commitment.
Really good shot. She'll have a putt for birdie. Deann was impressed. Catrina looks like landing right between the 2 trees. How fortunate is that?
Trying to use the back of her lie, and what a great deceleration of the arm there. Finds herself inside the circle. Catastrophe avoided. Still has a par save chance. Oh man.
Kristin off the front of the cage for the birdie putt.
Those fans back there must not know Queen Kristin was putting. They were just walking on past the cameraman there.
Yay! Deann Carey with a long birdie putt here on the 10th. Flight Factory run back for y'all.
Very right edge of the chains, able to get it to drop. Deann's had quite a few feet of putting this tournament.
She told me yesterday she hadn't made any Circle 2 putts all weekend, so I'm glad to see her.
She's made tons of Circle's Edge, though.
Make some jumpers. Oh no, we've seen Jennifer so good on the putting green up until now. That one just slipped away from her. That's all right. She'll take a par here. Like Connor says, if par is a mistake, it's pretty good. But not good enough to win.
It's good for your overall placement and trying to finish in that top 10, maybe get a podium spot depending who you are on this card. But
if you're a score watcher and you can see what Holland Hanley and Haley King and the other people at the top might be doing, you know, might be a birdie streak going. Let's check out hole 11, an uphill par 3, 316 feet. As long as you can make it through this gap, past this row of trees on the left, that'll give you a birdie look. Trouble off the tee would be sawing off your shot early, hitting that tree, or getting caught up in this line of trees. Also trying to power your shot too much, possibly turning it over into this line of trees on the right. This should be a fairly stock hyzer for this group of ladies. Expecting to see everyone up here for a birdie look. Deann Carey up first after the only birdie on hole 10.
And burns this one over. Another chance to pad those Circle 2 stats though. She's ready to send it.
Kristin, her shot comes out a little early. Oh, she gets so lucky making it through the wall of trees. 20-foot putt for birdie.
So early that it's good.
Jennifer hits the gap perfectly.
That is textbook out of Allen.
Jennifer, drop in birdie. She could practically leave her bag on, although I don't recommend it.
Catrina plays it a little bit wider and higher, but looks to be getting that left movement she needs. About a 24-foot putt.
Deann Carey from 55. Bit of an air ball on that one.
Yeah, a lot of want on that one. Just hung it out too wide right.
Beautiful putt from Kristin after we saw her be a little short on the juice on a couple previous putts. Looks like she put a little more energy and height on that one.
Cardmate's asking her to call who is out next to putt. I saw Hannah Wynn in the background go statue mode on Kristin's putt. Sign of respect.
And Deann unfortunately went for that aggressive jump putt, left herself a long comeback and did not make it. Catrina, however, smashed that circle's edge birdie putt.
Deann has to settle for bogey.
Jennifer Allen with a no stress birdie.
Turbo tap-ins for Jen. Catrina gets herself to the double-digit down range on the tournament. We saw hole 12 play as the 6th hardest hole on the day. Only offered up 2 birdies. Will we see one or maybe both of them from this chase card? 353 feet. Couple options. If you like the forehand, there is some airspace through the gap. But the way the drone's flying here is going to be the option for your right-handed flip up backhand shot. Definitely a long range hyzer.
As long as you can get past that tree in the middle, right where Kristin's going, that seems to be the most hit area here for this shot. Jen pulls hers a bit right, and she is inbounds, knocked down short. She could still save par. Really, if you could just hit that right gap, just like Catrina does, and get the disc to move back left.
We'll get the skip.
That's perfect, just what you're looking for.
Yeah, doesn't really skip left, but moves past that wall of trees where she will have an open putting window.
Deann's shot looks a bit high, and she hits the same tree Kristin did. It's really the tree to miss.
Yeah, I feel like if there was a lot more height on this shot, we'd see quite a few more birdies. With that little bit of ceiling restriction, this makes you juice up on this one. Gives it definitely more difficulty than it would otherwise.
Deann shorts her up shot, but with that premium plastic, it skips all the way to the circle.
No, Pfizer.
Flat out of Allen and jumps back towards the basket off a little cut down tree stump.
Carey to save par. Solid putt.
Working woman's par there.
Another run back.
And cashes another circle 2. Working them stats up.
And Catrina with a beautiful lofty putt. She'll take 2 birdies in a row.
There it is. You guys got to see one of the 2 birdies on the day from Catrina Allen. Sayananda grabbed the other as Kristin cleans up a big par save. She needs to get it going though. It's time to birdie. If she doesn't birdie 4 of the next 6, maybe even more, it's going to be hard to chase.
Jennifer unable to connect on her birdie putt. She'll have to settle, on her putt. She'll have to settle for a bogey here.
And those elevated basket stands can definitely throw off the best of us.
Let's check out hole 13. Wow, is this challenging? A par 3, 397 feet. The right side's out of bounds completely. No one's going to be taking it, so we'll be focusing on the left side. Out of bounds left and right as indicated by the short right white flags. A lot of people are playing short of that bush and then doing a turnover into the green. I learned from Deann Carey yesterday through a driver through this tunnel that the drone flew getting past that bush, and that'll give you a nice straight shot at the basket. Catrina Allen up first. I'm curious to see if she's going aggressive or layup. Ooh, aggressive.
Hugs that tree line and ooh, she found herself barely safe along that right out of bounds line. Yeah, let's hopefully look to see this hole be called a par 4 for the F4 division next season, unless some changes are made to it, because that's really how it played.
We saw Kristin Tattar take a 6 here in a previous day. Let's see if she can clean it up. Deann Carey doing turnover shot with her Lone Star curl.
Wow, another great one, just as we saw yesterday out of Deann.
Jennifer, I don't know if she was trying to go outside of the tree and get around it, but she looks to be safe. And if she could stretch out and see the basket, she might be able to save a par from there.
Kristin needs a big skip. She's going to access circle 1 and almost. Oh, she does get there. Wow. Hole 13 played exactly as 4.00 today. And once again, we saw just hard approaches with this low ceiling.
Jennifer pumps a knee shot from under that bush. She'll have a putt for par. It's a long one.
Catrina looking to move this one well right and uses that edge of the disc very nicely.
Deann with the longest drive of the group. Nice little short putter approach, and she is touching the, what are we calling those these days?
Oh, there's the
Half tower? Shorty tower?
Yeah, we'll call it just the, I don't know.
Mini tower?
You guys let us know in the comments. What do we call these guys?
Jennifer unable to save par. She did have a long putt at it. Kristin, however, getting herself a par after I mentioned, she didn't do so well on this hole in a previous day. So the 6 to a 3, huge improvement.
Yeah, 3 rounds. Nearly 50 of the best FPO players in the world attempting this hole. We saw 0 twos. I'd bet your bottom dollar this one's changing for next year.
Carey with the drop-in par.
Also, it measures at 454 feet. And hole 14 is a par 5, 893 feet. Well downhill for this first shot and likely the second. If you can get your second shot somewhere just short of this wall in the shade of this massive tree, you're going to be very happy, as you'll have only 250 feet or less into this down sloping green. A right hand backhand checks up nicely on the approach. A lot of options off the tee.
Catrina Allen up first after 2 birdies in a row. She takes the left side flip up hyzer. She could have pushed more distance, but even from there she can still get a birdie for it. As we saw in previous rounds, some of the players with max distance, such as Holland Hanley, played a very conservative game, keeping herself safe throughout the most part. Good course management and discipline. Kristin Tattar safe in the fairway. Deann Carey taking that right side gap.
Oh no.
Clipping that huge bush. I'm not sure if she actually pushed through or not.
Looks like she dropped at the base of it, so it's going to be hard to get a backhand swing off.
Ooh, Jennifer risking the max distance left turnover flex. I loved it.
She turned around the catch can. That's always a good sign. Dan going standout forehand. Whips it up there. Pretty nice with the curl. She wanted me to make sure to tell you guys that was one of the best forehands she's ever thrown in her life when I saw her after her round today. Good job, Deann.
And Catrina is in a great position to just give it a full send. If you've been watching the coverage, I've mentioned if you can get at or past that tree she just hit, you can pretty much set yourself up for birdie from there.
Kristin, forehand. Looking to set up maybe a straight backhand into the green. Forehand is there, it just runs away with the hillside as you're landing.
Deann's shot is good. It could have had a bit more height, but carried a bit further. Let's look at Jennifer Allen. Oh my gosh, she could get all the way up there for eagle if she tried hard enough.
Yeah, a little more height on that one. We could have seen it get to the top of that hill with a long putt.
If I had that kind of distance, I would get myself in trouble. Catrina Allen could also get to the pin from here. This is a very tricky shot. You can only see the flag. It's downslope, plus there's out of bounds on the left side and the right side fence. Ooh, I love the height on this.
Yeah, it looks great and checks up on that side slope. Well weighted for Deann. Kristin back to that approach disc, either Savior or Harp she's been throwing all day. Pushes it to the long side a bit, but very makeable uphill 27-footer. Catrina will have the longest putt of the group. Hers for birdie.
Oh, she gave it a good bid. You always want to get a bit more loft on the downhill so you don't fly past. Jennifer Allen making good on her birdie here on the 14th. That aggressive drive off the tee paid off. And Tattar, even though I felt that she was rather conservative with her shots, with her good course management, she was also able to get a birdie.
Yeah, she has such smooth power. I feel like her and Holland, with their skill sets, they're able to just play a game that looks almost so lackadaisical at times, but they just, like you said, they manage the course well. They choose their shots wisely and try to mitigate the risks while still scoring birdies. Two birdies, two pars here on hole 14, sorry.
Trilogy Challenge is back, y'all. You get 3 discs,
The Retro Orbit Pure.
Tournament Ice Orbit Warship,
Fusion, Ice, Orbit, Vandal. Are you ready to hit the course with these 3 discs?
And go check out tillchallenge.com.
Let's check out hole 15, a par 3, 355 feet. This hole plays as an island. If your drive does not land safe on the island, you must proceed to the drop zone. Most players will throw a hyzer, spike hyzer, or a flat shot and just let the disc work left, getting inside the circle, hopefully getting a birdie 2. The final finishing holes are all very birdieable. See if anyone can close it out. Tattar up first.
Looks to be back to that rive for Kristin and skips up left side of the circle's edge. Similar length putt to the last one.
And Jennifer's is 2 left, right out of the hand. And she's out of bounds. You've really got to work the disc over to the right and let it come back left.
There was some left to right wind out there today, and a lot of players putting some extra angle on this one because of it. But if it doesn't do what you think it is to your disc, you saw what happened to Jennifer. Happened to quite a few players.
Oh, Catrina in the bullseye. What an incredible shot. Another Flight Factory run back. Park job worthy.
Look at that lag on the toss, waits on the disc, pulls through. Nice height to come in for the gentle skip. Perfect shot. Deann looking for that one to curl back. And it does.
Safe again, Deann by the skin of her teeth. And Jennifer Allen now throwing 3 from the drop zone. Hopefully she can keep this to a single bogey. And that'll do it. Deann calling a provisional just because she hasn't walked up there and seen with her own eyes if it's actually safe. But now that it is, she'll be taking her real birdie putt. Oh, she gives the jumper a run.
Wow, I was kind of hoping she would make that because I played with AJ today. He took a provisional, ended up being in bounds, cashed his putt. That would have been kind of crazy. Kristin, we needed her to pick that one up.
Kristin looking to get a 8 down, but misses that short putt. Very uncharacteristic.
Still a lot can happen in these last few holes. If she can finish with 3 birdies, it's going to be very good score and something that could have a chance at that chase card win. Kristin's has been living on the edge of the circle today. It feels like she could just put a little more on it, get a little closer. She would have had just a scorcher going. The island hole at Emporia Community Club is 320 feet and it's one of the most well-known holes in disc golf. Wall behind the basket to collect your nice committed ace run if you want to get on this island. Trying to float it there might get tricky, so I feel like the key is to really commit to this one, get it there quick, and try to check up close because putting back at the water can be scary.
Catrina up first after the only birdie on hole 15. She sends it to the right side. It's looking good. She hits the wall. She's safe. Kristin with a low laser at it.
We haven't seen much success with the skipping up the out of bounds lines.
I have seen no successful water skips this year.
Yeah, I feel like the water's a little lower maybe on that bank over there or something, and just nothing has been getting out of the water onto the land.
Tattar out of bounds. She'll have to proceed to the drop zone. And Deann turns her shot over and she's out of bounds under the bridge. She'll also proceed to the drop zone.
Don't tell me that was her curl.
I'm not going to tell you that. Jennifer Allen throwing a mid.
If this drops, it has a chance. Oh,
Safe on the grass. Jennifer Allen and Catrina Allen both with a look at birdie. The drop zone about 85-90 feet.
all of a sudden, Kristin's chances at winning just took a big hit. The days of hoping that the field just deteriorates feel like they're almost gone. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is a very competitive place.
This is the ultimate death putt. At the water, Catrina just off the front of the cage.
Good bid there for the champ. Just guess wanted to keep her putter while still almost giving it a chance.
Very brave putt. A lot of people will lay up from that position. Just be happy that they made the island and they can take a par. And Jennifer didn't put enough height on hers. She'll have to settle for a par as well.
Yeah, Jennifer's such an animated player.
Deann and Kristin both pitched up from the drop zone, successful with their bogeys. A lot of people say this hole is a 2 or a 4, and that's how I like to look at it. Even if you lay up to the right safe, that's not a guaranteed par, so you might as well send it.
Run it. That's what the fans are there for, you guys. Give them the show.
Hole 17, one of my favorite holes on the course. We do have a Mando on that far right tree, out of bounds on the left and right. Your tee shot needs to go as long as possible, and if you land right near the right out of bounds edge, that can give you a look across the OB area with a look at birdie. Otherwise, if you're not in a good position, you'll just pitch up either over to the right again or further down the fairway, do a little chip shot, walk away with a par. Catrina Allen up first. A low flip up hyzer. We'll have to see if she is in the right gap to actually go for that birdie look. You really have to be in the perfect position, otherwise it's not worth the risk. Jennifer Allen purposefully trying to aim her shot over to the right, too much height, and she gets knocked down short.
Kristin pushing this to the right, looks to catch a little bit of edge. Maybe got that tree trunk. She's a little pinched, but will have options, and birdie is on the table.
I like the way this is looking out of Deann Carey. Oh, that's perfect. She should be able just to throw right across and have a look at birdie. And you see Jen, she's just not in a good position to go for it. Oh,
that is
no.
a sketchy one, though.
Oh, it looks safe.
Looks like she skirts the line, stays in.
And you can see Catrina didn't like the look of her position either. Sometimes the ceiling's just too low, and you're just not feeling the shot. However, Kristin looks like she has pretty good height to work with, fairly open. I would go for that as well if I were in the same position.
Going to that Saint Pro, but gets a little flat on it. Needed to hyzer flip that one. Wow, pushes it really far.
It's the ultimate safe bailout. I mean, hey, she's still up there for a birdie putt. Now, Deann Carey with the longest and best position drive of the group.
As I talked about, the competition level of these divisions is getting better and better. The course design is also pushing the level of the game. We saw this FPO layout come in at 77 feet short of 10,000 feet. These courses are getting long, you guys. Everyone loves seeing big bombs and big putts, so they definitely lend to some of that.
Catrina Allen's third shot, looking to get it close and walk away with a par. There's no room for error since you had to pitch up and play the hole for par. It's always a luxury if you can get all the way across on your second shot and then just be that much closer. Decide if you want to go for birdie or just lay it up for par.
Kristin, circle 3 long, elects to try to chip this one in, maybe? Just a layup, look like. She seems to be content with taking that par.
Carey looking to get a birdie. Off the front of the cage, she'll have a drop-in par. And Jennifer, not enough height on hers. Good par putt out of Catrina here on the 17th.
Yeah, we saw her miss one in that range earlier in the round, so not a gimme.
Not by any means.
Kristin fires that in with maybe a little ounce of frustration. She is hungry for those wins, has 5 of them on the season. Maybe an eagle could give her a chance here. Hole 18, we saw a new teeing location for this finishing hole. It's a very gettable par 4 at 417 feet. This out of bounds line on the left will come into play though if you get too much height on your disc and it fades out early. Shape something nice and low on a tight flex line through this gap and you might find yourself with an eagle putt. If not, as long as your miss is low, you should have a very manageable approach onto this elevated sloping green.
Catrina Allen up first. She takes the main gap with a flip up hyzer.
Wow, she has so much trust in getting those discs to move off of that extreme hyzer, and what a great manipulation of the disc there.
Tattar up next. And she throws it a bit low, and that's kind of, a forced choice here. A lot of players are going low under that branch, and that's Deann Carey's play. And that's probably a little more middle or left than Deann wanted, but she's in bounds, and you can still get a birdie from there. This is a generous par 4. As long as you get 250 off the tee, it's a very standard upshot.
I believe we saw Jennifer score eagle here round 1. She's putting a big move on this one. Can it fight back? It does.
Wow, Jennifer Allen, 15-foot look at eagle. What a shot. Flight Factory run back.
Well deserved here. For the crusher, Jen Allen really likes to hammer stuff over on that angle, so this is a hole that sets up very well for her throw. And it helps when you can smash it 450.
Jen can throw 500.
Oh, I know. 450 conservative. Consistently.
This is Kristin's second shot, and she can still get a birdie from here.
Jen can step out the car and throw 450, so that's what I meant.
No warm-up needed. No, she probably would prefer a warm-up. She's a warming up type of girl. Deann Carey's shot, even though it was a bit short, still very birdieable. She's up there in the bullseye with a birdie putt. Oh, Catrina floats that a little more left than intended and a little long.
Yeah, but just showing she doesn't really care where she's placing. If she's not going to give herself a chance to win, she tried to put on a highlight there.
What a great finishing putt, Catrina Allen. A lot of times sending your upshot long can be stressful, but like no big deal to her. Tattar for birdie.
Puts down a 7 down. Solid final round.
Jennifer Allen for eagle on the 18th.
This will make her one of 5 players on the day to score that eagle. Ella Hansen, Holland Hanley, Maria Oliva, and Alyssa Pearson.
Maria Oliva threw it in from about 180. I saw it across the fairway.
Heck yeah. Sure she got some well-deserved love from the crowd for that. Jennifer in then with that blue square to get herself back under par on the round. Everyone finishing at even or better. They had hopes of making a chase, but just not quite on the day. Haley King, Holland Hanley push it to a playoff. Haley King takes it down on the island hole, hole 16. That girl can play.
Congratulations to Haley King. Very well done. We appreciate you guys tuning in to this final day of the 2023 Dynamic Disc Open. If you've never been to Emporia, next year perhaps you could buy one of the spectating tickets, which can be purchased on the discgolfprotour.com. And if you'd like to support Connor and I, we have some Tour Series discs available. The links are in the description.
Massive thank you to the tournament staff and everyone who helps make the tournaments happen in Emporia, as well as to all the fans who came out. You guys are just what brings the energy to the event, so we hope to see y'all soon.